What's up, everyone?
So we are brand new to Scootin, and it is our first time.
What is Scootin?
Scootin. So getting those scooters and scooting around town, pretty much
Bali.
on the little scooters. And so we wanted to just share a few tips that we are learning to help you, any newbies out there who are thinking about getting a scooter, just to scoot around safely and make it as easy as possible for you to scoot around in a new place. Because it's definitely a learning curve, to say the least. To say the least, okay? I have some road rash. What's it called?
Road rash.
No, it's not.
Yeah, road rash.
Road rash. I have road rash.
Not as much as majority, so she skirted
I got into a wee bit of a crash.
So Kim is on the scooter. She's been scooting by herself, so let's see if this is her coming. I see it's a slow temp, so it could be her. There she is. You got stuck.
I scooted. I made it.
How'd you get stuck?
I got stuck in the ditch.
What?
I couldn't turn around.
What do you mean you got stuck in the ditch, babe?
I couldn't move the bike anymore, and I gassed her up and she flew.
What do you mean?
We made it back alive.
Do you want to scoot some more?
No.
Here, go scoot again.
Yeah.
So go this way again.
No.
That way's harder, actually.
What?
That way's tougher.
I'm already turning this way.
So turn into here. So, whoa, 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 whoa. Hit the brake. Hit the brake. Brake.
So what not to do, and now I'm gonna let the expert, Mr. G right here, I'm gonna let him tell you what to do.
I think my suggestion was, again, I had never ridden a scooter, maybe just down the street with one of my buddy's scooters in Florida or whatever, but never like this. This is crazy. There are millions of scooters, there's millions of cars, there's not really driving patterns, there's not stop signs, there's not very many stoplights when you're in town, none at all, really. So you just kind of merge in and out. If you picture it like a fish in the water, they just kind of merge in and out and go. It's kind of how this is. So, you know, I
just want to add, it's kind of like organized chaos, because it is like everybody here, you drive on the left side of the road, but it doesn't really feel that way. Everybody's just kind of driving everywhere, but there is some kind of a knowing. There's an intuitive knowing of where to go and what to do. And so
I was speaking with somebody I met at one of the cafes, and she described it really well. She says, you got to go by feeling. It's just this feel. You can't really describe it. You just feel it. But I do have some tips. Number one is get to know your scooter very well. Ride it up and down. We have a village here. We were staying in a village here, so I have a nice little street that I got to practice. My first couple runs, nervous as hell. Almost wrecked a couple times, but held it together. So my number one thing is you cannot panic. So if you are a jumpy, panicky kind of person, this is not for you, because you can get into a point where you get startled, and as you get startled, that can be a disaster.
What you saw in the video before.
Yeah, so it's like taking time and not panicking and just knowing what to do in a problem.
Yeah.
With that being said, I think one of my awesome key points that I've actually learned is when you find a group of locals on scooters and you're with them, stay with them. I found out, watch them, how they maneuver. If you're behind them and they're maneuvering around, maneuver with them. Make sure it's safe though. Always be looking ahead, but I always like to follow, see what the locals are doing, see how they're maneuvering in and out of traffic, and then that way you kind of feel safe to understand how things work. My other main point is, I've noticed on these very tight roads, they're very tight. I like staying behind a car. A lot of the locals pass the cars, but the way I look at it is the cars are so wide that people have to move to the far side of the road. So if I'm behind a car, there's no chance another car is going to come around the corner and clip me because they'd hit the car. And so they have to stay the farthest so they can both fit down the road. So I like staying behind that car, and it almost provides me like a linebacker, like a offensive lineman to block my way through these tight, windy curves, and I've actually felt a lot more safe. I'm staying behind that car while I was doing it. So
well, and he's an amazing driver. Like, I'm just gonna say, like, I feel so safe, and we have gotten into some crazy ass traffic. And yeah, you've just like killed it. So I just want to give you a little shout out. But another thing is, here in Indonesia, everywhere is different, but we're speaking for Bali in particular, they beep. So that's kind of like how they let you know, hey, I'm coming around.
I'm here.
Yep, I'm coming around the side, I'm coming around the corner, I'm gonna pass you. And so you just beep, and it's kind of the knowing that, oh, someone's coming, I'm not gonna get over, or I'm not gonna pass. And that you always beep when you go around a corner to let the other oncoming traffic know somebody's coming around.
Because we're talking
it
these
works.
corners you're not able to see. You can't see around the corner, and they're tight. It's not like two cars are gonna fit around this turn.
Yeah.
So basically the person that honks, if you didn't honk and you hear a honk, that person's coming. They're not saying, hey, I'm here. It's
coming.
I'm going.
Right.
And so that's kind of how we do it. I'll honk if we're looking at each other and I know that it's getting tight. I honk. If I honk first, then I'm going. And they know that. And they stay. And we go around.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it's kind of like organized chaos, but like everybody kind of just knows what they're doing. And knock on wood, there hasn't been any kind of craziness that we've seen except my accident, but
no, and I think go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off. Sorry. Go ahead, keep going.
But the other thing we are going to touch on is the price point.
Absolutely.
So you can rent a scooter here for about $50 depending on where you go, what you do. You can negotiate everything, as we've said many times. But $50 is about the going rate for a monthly rental scooter, and then to fill up your tank is like what, like $2, $2 American dollars ish.
30,000 rupiah will get you full.
So it's like a little over $2 American dollars, and you have a full tank.
Actually, I filled it up for 20,000, but I have filled it up for 30. So there are different rates.
Between like $2 and $3, you can fill up your tank and like literally drive for like miles and miles and miles.
Absolutely, we were lucky and blessed because our host actually arranged our scooter for us. I have heard to where some of the scooter people will say like, I need your passport to hold.
Yeah.
Do not ever give out your passport ever, because what happens is you will return that and they'll say, give me $1,000.
Yeah.
Or I'm not giving your passport.
And you don't
back.
have a choice because they have your passport.
Correct.
There's
They'll say, oh,
stories.
there's a nick on the side of this. You caused
and
that.
We're not going to give. Yeah. Never give your passport to anybody.
But that is one place that they will ask for your passport.
So just say no. Find somebody else.
Absolutely. Go somewhere else. Absolutely. So just be careful. I think when I interrupted her, I'm sorry, like this thought flashed in my head. You know, we're from the States, and there's a lot of distracted drivers. There's a lot of billboards on don't text and drive. What I have noticed is everybody here does pay attention. It is a very fine dance that goes on the streets, but it is very dangerous.
Yeah.
And a lot of accidents happen, and a lot of people get injured. And so you just have to stay diligent. You have to be defensive, and you have to be respectful. It's not the Indy 500. You're not out there racing and stuff like that unless you want to get hurt. So, and there's a lot of dogs.
Everywhere.
The Bali dogs
and they just run out in front of you.
Some of them chase the scooters. They do different things, and so you have to be careful of not. You know, this is where the panicking comes in. If a dog runs out, you can't panic and swerve and get into oncoming traffic. It is just you just have to constantly
be on alert. Focused.
And you have to be focused.
And the roads here aren't that great. You know, it's a developing country, and you know there's a lot of potholes, and there's gravel, and there's dogs, and there's all these crazy
offerings
things. So
and different things.
Yeah, you just have to be really conscious, really focused. But but yeah, you can totally do it,
Absolutely.
And it gives you such freedom.
Big time.
To just be able to scoot around. And
again, this is coming from two non-scooters.
Like never.
So
ever.
We did it. We're doing it. We've been here a month. We've been rocking it, and so I suggest it.
And yeah, always make sure that you have a helmet. And another side note, you do have to have an international license to drive in other countries. Clearly, they're really kind of loose with the law here. But if you do get pulled over, and we've heard this from several people. Sorry, my nose is running. If you do get pulled over, hello. In the cops, you don't have an international license, which I don't think really anybody gets that. I know we don't have it. You will have to pay off the cop. They bribe you. I don't know how much. I'm not really sure. That's something you'd have to work out. But it is something to note. If you don't have that license, you will have to pay a fine. We haven't been pulled over yet. Wear your helmet. Don't drive like an ass, and you should be good to go. Absolutely.
I think so too. I mean, if you have the opportunity to get an international license and you want to, go ahead. But we haven't had an issue. Hopefully we don't. And I think that wraps
That's
up
it.
our scooting tips.
Our scoot.
What the was that?
I don't know.
Well, that's probably because she just wrecked it. So
Me and the scooter have a very tumultuous relationship.
his name is Steve. So Scooter Steve.
Scooter Steve.
He's a nice scoot.
He's trying to make it up to me by being all sweet, but
Absolutely. All right, guys.
all right.
That's our scooting
let
tips.
us know if you have any questions. We'd love to help in any kind of a way because we had to figure all this out on our own. So ask us any questions. We're totally here to help and support you on your scooting adventures.
Leave it on the comments below, and also
Leave us a big like and subscribe
thumbs
if
up.
you haven't already because we put out videos every single week and almost every day. So
That's right. And they're on cool shit like this, man.
and we're really fun.
What? Deuces.
Bye.